All right, welcome everyone to my class. So this is reading 5 and then this is part 3. We are going to discuss something different from last week. Yes. So how it is like to have something different today. So let's check this out. You need to follow me. Okay, the first one, I'd like to give you one meme and another portrait. Yeah, another portrait of Emily, yeah, which is in the series of Emily in Paris in Netflix. Okay, let's see here. The first meme. When you lived in France for 2 months, you know you Americans. If you are an American living in France for 2 months, all of the people in France will pay attention to every single detail that you are wearing and every single habit that you have behaved so far in the country. Yes. One of the noticeable things is that your language. If you cannot speak in French, uh, you will be having these bad attitudes given by the French people. Okay, so they will have the stereotypes of you who is really arrogant because you cannot speak in French. Okay, so that's the shock, yeah, that the people will have if they've got the duty or responsibility or they just go on vacation to visit another country. They need to understand the cross-cultural understanding. So every person in the country doesn't understand whatever is coming from another person coming from other country. Yeah, you need to have this um, adjustment, cultural adjustment when you come to a country. So you cannot bring your cultural heritage or you cannot bring your cultural attitudes from your own homeland. Now you need to adjust yourself, conform yourself with the culture that has been existing in the country. And then this is really illustrated. Yeah, this is really illustrated in the series titled Emily in Paris. So this is a very booming series in Netflix. Yeah, if you've got Netflix, you can watch this series. And then it is really interesting. It's talking about an American woman working in a company, and she visits France. Yes, she visits France. There is a company too in France, and then she is in charge of the social media made by the company, and she encounters a lot of not racial, but it is a bad attitudes from French people toward her. Yeah, because she has got this cultural understanding coming from United States of America, but all of the people in France, they've got also their, yeah, attitude toward her, which makes her a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, a little bit uncomfortable, and then all of the people there all of the people they force her to speak French. Uh, If you cannot speak French in France, you will be considered an arrogant person. Okay, because you don't value the culture of people living in France. Yes, great. Next, this is all about the shock that we are going to discuss in the next article. Okay, here it is. Before reading, I'd like to give you several topics. Yeah, there are 4 topics, and then there are 2 countries. So these topics are the habits that usually happen in the 2 countries, in Australia and the United States. Let's see here. We've got driving. Driving in Australia, driving is less. The road is less traffic than in the U.S. And then the people steer wheel on the right side. So if they are taught to stay or steer their wheel on the middle lane or in the left lane or in the right lane, they will pay attention to every single detail because they've got a different kinds of steering problems when you go to a certain lane on the high road. Yeah, and then in the United States, yeah, here in the United States, crazy drivers, more traffic than in Australia. The people in United States of America, they usually drive really crazy. Yeah, they usually drive really crazy, and there are a lot of traffic jams or congestion there. Uh, You never think that United States of America is a very sophisticated country with a lot of the people who are really disciplined, but it is not the case. Okay, it's not always the case. And then if you are talking about all right, United States with disciplined people, I will refer to which, or you will refer to which state or which city, yeah, which county, yes, and so on. Great. And then pace of life, pace of life. Okay, I don't know. I don't have the enough data for Australia pace of life. Yes. What about the United States? The people live in the United States. Yeah, they will have this kind of attitude towards working, so they um, live to work. Yes, according to the series of Emily in Paris, people living in United States of America, they live to work. Yes, it is in France. It is prohibited to speak about work in the party, but the people coming from United States, they speak about the work problems in the party. Okay, so that's pace of life. And what about drinking alcohol? I think since they are, yeah, I cannot say that it is a stereotypical attitude toward them, but most of people live in Australia, they must drink alcohol. And in the United States, they also must drink alcohol. Yes, that's why if you pay attention to the kidneys related disease, yeah, the people living in the United States, they've got this probability high rate of kidneys waiting list. They need to wait to get the transplantable kidneys due to the alcohol related disease. Yeah, so they're really having much time in drinking with their friends while hanging out, yeah, in a bar, in a pub. Okay. And then what about relationship between professors and students? Yeah, I don't know about Australia, but the United States will give you a really, really good relationship. Yeah, when you study in United States, but still, United States will pay much attention to the discipline. Okay, when you are studying there, you need to, yeah, look for certain um, article or certain information by yourself. Yeah, of course, it is being guided by the supervisors or your professors, but your professors will give you just a little supervision, okay, for you to develop yourself. Okay, so that's in the United States, but I don't know in Australia. So it's all about the different perspectives of the cultural understanding between Australia and United States. Okay, so here it is. So we are going to have a prediction. Yeah, prediction. Yeah, it is a content prediction or predicting a content. So please read the title. Culture shock. You must know about culture shock anyway. When you visit a country, when you visit another district, when you visit another area or another province, you will have a culture shock since it seems that you don't belong to the culture of your destination because you still belong to the culture of your homeland, of the where you come from. Okay, so that's a culture shock. So here it is the thing. If you read the title, you need to have pay attention, predicting the content by asking yourself several questions. So I've provided you with 4 questions here. The first question is, what is culture shock? Uh, you need to pay attention to every single detail in the article. You just read the article and you find out the information related to culture shock. Okay, just read the first paragraph. Yeah. Saying Tamara Blackmore experienced culture shock. She experienced culture shock when she arrived here last September is an understatement. It was more like cultural trauma. It was like a cultural trauma for this adventurous student who left Melbourne's Monash University to spend her junior year at Boston College, BC. So she is apparently from Australia and she has got something to do in Boston College. Yes. And Blackmore, 20, yeah, at the age of 20, was joined at BC, Boston College, by 50 other exchange students from around the world. So the purpose of her coming to the country is to fulfill, okay, the exchange students or to perform the exchange students. Yeah? Like the thousands of exchange students who enroll in American colleges each year, Blackmore discovered firsthand there is a sea of difference. There is a sea of difference. Between reading about the experiencing American firsthand, she felt the difference as soon as she stepped off the plane. Okay, great. So the difference. So what is culture shock? Now you've got this, yeah, here. The difference of the culture where you come from and the destinations of the country, uh, or country of destination. Right. So what country is being talked? Yeah, here you've got Melbourne, Australia, and Boston in United States. You've got the information. And how is Boston? Let's see, how is Boston? You pay attention to this question, then you find out the information on the article. As soon as she landed in Boston, Blackmore could feel the tension in the air. Oh, full of tension. She was about to test a lifestyle, okay, different lifestyle, for more hectic than the one she left. It's more hectic than in Melbourne. Driving in Boston is crazy. All right. So this is another hectic life in Boston. Driving in Boston is crazy. So that answers the third question. Says Blackmore. It took me a while to get used to the roads and the driving style here. I was always afraid someone was going to hit me. Afraid someone was going to hit me, or because they don't steer their wheel very goodly or very well. Yeah. Okay. It was particularly tricky since the steering wheel was on the wrong side of the car. In Australia, it is on the right side. Beyond the cars and traffic jams, Blackmore said it blah 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 blah. Okay, so that's all about Boston. So you've got a different steering wheel. Yeah. It was particularly tricky since the steering wheel was on the wrong side of the car. In Australia, it is on the right side. If you drive a car in Australia, the steering wheel will be in the right side. When you drive a car in the United States, the steering wheel will be in the left side. So it is a bit different, yeah. That's why it is a culture shock, and then you need to adjust with this cultures, yeah, before you've been understanding the people's attitude. Again, then how is in Australia? Like I said before, yeah, the steering wheel in Australia is on the right side. Yeah, beyond the cars and traffic jams, Blackmore said it blah 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 while to get used to so many people in one place. Okay, so I think, yeah, just because um, Tamara Blackmore has lived in Australia since then, she has been really accustomed to the Australian culture. Yeah, when she comes to United States of America, there will be a bit different since they've got a different value, yeah, in valuing their lives, in valuing their way of driving, yeah, and so on and so forth. Great. So okay. So let's find out again. Let's see. Okay. So the topic and main idea. So here we are going to talk about topic and main idea. Let's see the two memes. I can't find the main idea. I can't find the main idea, so you will cry later. So this is a very harsh thing, yeah, when it comes to reading. People will be really bored when they are taught to find the main idea of the article, because it is a very difficult one, I think. When it comes to TOEFL test 2, finding main idea will lie on the first priority of the people who will say that it is very difficult for them to choose or to conclude the main idea. Okay, but don't cry. Okay, yeah, it's okay to cry, but crying will make your paper wet, yeah, when it comes to test letter. Okay, and then please tell me that each paragraph has only one main idea with 3 to 5 supporting details. That's correct. So in one paragraph, usually the writer or the author will put the main idea on the very beginning or in the last sentence. Okay, so in the very beginning or in the last sentence, and all of the sentences or the rest of the sentences will be considered the supporting details. Okay, so what it is like, so check this out. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so understanding the difference between topic and main idea. A topic, yeah, a topic is the subject of general idea of a piece of writing. So it is a general idea. Topic is a general idea, okay, of a piece of writing. A main idea is the writer's message about the topic. A main idea is the writer's message, yeah, about the topic. So if I've got a topic, yeah, a cat, cat is a topic, okay, because it's very general, and then you need to narrow down the topic into main idea. For example, three kinds of cute cats. Okay, 3 kinds of cute cats. So it becomes the topic of your paragraph. Okay, so typically writers organize their writing around 1 or 2 main ideas. Okay, yeah, there are one or more than one. Yeah, of main ideas. Then the example of from chapter 2. Yeah, chapter 2, for example. Here we've got student learning teams. Yeah, we read this before, student learning teams, and the main idea: forming a learning team can improve your academic performance. Yeah, usually the topic is in phrase. Yeah, in a phrase like student learning teams. That's a phrase. What about main idea? Main idea usually consists of subject and verb. Like forming a learning team can improve. That's a verb, and forming a learning team, that's a subject. Now the main idea consists of the complete sentence, yeah, consisting of subject and a verb, but the topic is only a phrase. Yeah. Okay. So let's find out how to analyze the topic and main idea. Okay, let's see here. What is the main idea of the passage? Now, if you are given a passage, the first thing that you need to understand in order to find the topic or the main idea, in this case is main idea, is you need to read the first sentence, yeah, and then the last sentence. Okay. And finally, blah 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 until there, and then this is okay. So you've got the first sentence and the last sentence. Yeah. Okay. So the average age of the population of many countries is getting older. So you need to find out the keyword. The keyword: average age. Okay. Population, countries, older. Okay, you've got the keyword. And then when you read the last sentence, and finally, there are many different kinds of products made for elderly. Products made for the elderly. Okay, older, elderly, and then products. These include everything from shoes to shampoo and shampoos to magazines and furniture. So yeah, it's all about main idea. It's not a topic because the option consists of subject and verb. Yeah, so it's not a topic. So here it is the thing. You need to choose the best answer. Yeah, based on our analysis of the article. Okay, let's see. A. The medical industry is developing new medicine for the elderly. All right, the elderly is mentioned. Yes, elderly is mentioned in the first and the last sentence. Okay, the medical industry is developing new medicine. But are we only talking about medical industry? Since in the last sentence you've got shoes and shampoos to magazine and furniture. No, yeah, it's too specific. It's too specific. So you cannot choose something that is too specific. So A is wrong. Okay. A is wrong. Because main idea is not too specific and not too general. That should be in the middle. Okay. And then B. New products and services are being developed by many companies. New products, yes, we are talking about products in the last sentence. And also the service are being developed by many companies. Okay, but it is too general. We are not only talking about the products and companies, we also talk about the older people or elderly in this case. So B is too general. Don't choose B. And then C, many companies are developing products and services for the increasing elderly population. Okay, now we've got companies, yes. Okay, in the last sentence, products, company. And then we've got products in the last sentence and services also in the last sentence for the increasing elderly population. So elderly population in the last and the first sentence. Nah, that's why C is the best answer. Why is C the best answer? Because the sentence here covers the first sentence and the last sentence of the paragraph. So you cannot only choose the first sentence of the paragraph in order to conclude the main idea. And then you cannot also choose the last sentence of the paragraph in order to conclude the main idea. So you need to combine the first and the last sentences of the paragraph and then find out the keywords and combine them into one main idea. Okay, C is the best answer. Remember, okay, the best answer is not always the long sentence. Okay, the best answer is not always the long sentence. The best answer is about the fair answer. The fair answer means you cover the first sentence and the last sentence of the paragraph, because the first sentence of the paragraph usually contains what is going to be talked in the paragraph, and then the last sentence of the paragraph usually is talking about the conclusion of the paragraph. That's why you need to combine the last and the first sentences of the paragraph. Okay, great. So then now let's go. Yeah, the next one. What is the topic of the passage? Remember, if it is main idea, it needs to consist of subject and the verb. But it's all about topic. You don't need to have subject and the verb. Okay, it is a phrase. So you need to read the first sentence of the paragraph. People have always been interested in bees. Okay, then underline the keyword. You've got people, yes, interested, and then bees. Okay, and then the last sentence. Research has revealed some surprising facts about this, but there are still many mysteries. There are still many mysteries. Okay, so research. Yeah, if people are interested in bees, there must be many researchers. Yeah, and then in researchers, you've got the surprising facts about bees. Okay, and then the surprising facts about bees are still remaining many mysteries. Okay, so let's check this out. The topic, remember, is a phrase. Okay. A. Expressions about bees in the English language. The first sentence and the last sentence are talking about the expression about bees in the English language or not? It is not, yeah. So it's not talking about the expressions about bees in the English language. So it is wrong. Okay. And then B, the story of bees. Okay. Is it talking about the story of the bees? Yes, it is talking about this too general. A is too specific, B is too general. Yeah, so you don't need to choose the too general um, phrase. Okay, then C, people's interest in bees. People's interest in bees. People interest, yeah, it's the first sentence. Of course, you got it here. In bees. Yeah, if people are really interested in bees, they must make some researches. So research has revealed blah 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 has been containing in interested in bees. Yeah, so that's why C is the best answer. Yeah, C is the best answer. Okay, so it's not too general, it's not also too specific. Right, so you have found out the answer. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you very much. We have been learning about cultural shocks and how to find the main idea and topic of the paragraph. So thank you very much for paying attention, and I'll see you next week. Have a nice day, everyone.